Good evening. My name is Thurman Greco, and the name of this show is Let's Live with Thurman Greco, and it's coming to you from scenic downtown Woodstock, New York, and also on YouTube. And this show has been running with a few little intermissions for about 20 years, maybe a few years, more than 20 years. So it's all things Woodstock. That's the important thing. And we continually have new guests. So tonight we have a guest, and he's a new guest, but also not only is he new guest, but what he does is kind of new. We've never had bars of soap on our table before. So would you introduce yourself to our audience?
Yes, you said what he does is kind of new. I was like, oh, what do I do? I was like, oh, what's she going to say? I do. My name's Greg Goodbrod, and we started a little company called Peace, Love, Lather. You know, everything in Woodstock is kind of peace, love, something. And it just kind of grew into a lot of soaps. It started during the pandemic.
Oh, did it really?
It did. I was learning so many things because I've been an actor for so many years. And so I want to be creative, and everybody's just stuck at home, and just started learning things. I learned how to make cheese. I started teaching cheese making classes online, and then I started learning all this stuff. I just get really curious, and this one kind of stuck with this. I'm like, well, let's see what happens. And now I think what we say when I walked in, there's like 34 different ones on the website. So it's a lot.
So how do you sell these 34 different kinds? I mean, you can't, if you bathe with a different one, I mean, you couldn't get rid of them in a year. So you got to do something with them, you know?
Yeah. Right now I'm at the flea market where I met you, and online. And I do some promotions online sometimes. And actually I have my first big market this weekend. So
where was that?
It will be on Sunday, this coming Sunday, at the Pickle Fest in New Paltz. That's why there are some pickles here.
At the Pickle Fest in New Paltz. So this is your first time out of the Mowers Meadow flea market.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a little bit bigger than the flea market here.
And I've never ventured beyond the flea market either, in terms of being, you know, that kind of a product. So how many years, you said this was in the pandemic. Did you start these soaps at the beginning of the pandemic?
Started like in the fall of 2020. Yeah, and they were much different back then. They were much different. You know, you gotta practice and fail. I think the first bar I made had lard in it, and it's okay. I decided after that, no animal products. So all these are vegan. I think, I can't remember. It was some kind of an orange soap I made, but a lot of people used to use lard. They still do, or tallow, or goat's milk, but I've decided that these will all be vegan. And that started in 2020, and then they just kind of morphed.
So when you decided that you were going to try soap, what was your first recipe like? Where did you find it?
Online. Everything's online, and then you like click onto YouTube, and there's so many soap makers on there that give tutorials, and I can't remember what the first recipe was. I think it was the orange soap. No, it was orange colored, but it had pumpkin in it for fall and different spices. No, that was the very first one, shaped like little pumpkins. And now they've grown into this size of bar. They went through some different sizes, different designs, and I kept what I like because I want to be able to use them too.
Well, now, so these like, they all seem to be the same size.
Yes.
So when you make bars of soap, you might do like a pan full.
Yeah, I do a whole mold full, 30 at a time for the most part. Depends on the pattern. Like this one, the salt bars, it's 2 different salt bars. I had to build those molds to make the same size because the salt bars are different. They're done just like that, so you can't wait. These, called wings, these are modeled after my chicken's feathers. I don't know if you see that. It's but these are only made like 9 at a time because they're much more involved.
So these are modeled after your chickens?
Yes.
What kind of chickens do you have?
We have some rescues. They were supposed to be for eggs, and they became pets, and and it made us vegetarians. And now what do we have? We have some Easter eggers. We have some Americanas. Oh, it's just different ones, and we've rescued 5
From
or 6.
where?
From farms that were going to process them, when they got older. Or we have one from the neighbor who didn't really take good care of them, and she was the only surviving one. She ran to us actually with her head open. So she's ours now. She's a beautiful buff Orpington. Someone found this little tiny one that looks like this, abandoned in a Target parking lot, and just someone called us.
Somebody found a chicken abandoned in the Target parking lot?
Yes, in New Jersey. Yeah. So we just happened.
What they do?
happened
Just
to
call
know.
you up and say,
No.
"Hey,
Can you imagine?
got a chicken for you?"
No, they called a friend who knew us.
So how many chickens do you have?
We only have 9 now.
You only have 9 now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we've had about 20 in all.
Well, at the largest number, how many did you have at any given moment?
At the same time?
Yeah,
Probably about 15 or 16.
Okay, so you at some point you had 15 or 16, and now you're down to 9.
Yes.
Are you down to 9 going down to 5? Or are you down to 9 going down to 3? Are you just down to 9 and you're waiting for somebody to call you with a surprise?
I think we're gonna phase it out. It's a lot of work. How we do it's a lot of work.
You're gonna phase
because
out the chickens?
We'll not phase out. We're going to let them live their lives out happily. But it's a lot of work when you keep them as pets, I think.
Okay, how do you define a pet chicken?
Well, if they're sick, we take them to the vet. That's something that chickens don't usually get.
Okay, so they go to the vet. Do you go to a local Woodstock vet?
Not in Woodstock. No, I think we go to Hurley most of all, the Hurley Veterinary Hospital, because they have to see chickens. They have to have someone who knows birds, which is an exotic animal. So we go there, or Rhinebeck, or Poughkeepsie. We've gone with emergencies.
Are you comfortable with the vet that you have now?
Yes, he's wonderful. I
Okay,
don't know if I
so
should
this
say his
is a
name
guy, yes, tell us.
Oh, Dr. Gunsberg.
Dr.
Early
Gunsberg
veterinary.
communicates with chickens and can deal with chickens.
Oh, he's a brilliant vet for more than just chickens. He's brilliant.
Wonderful. Well,
Wonderful man.
The thing is about a veterinarian, if you're a doctor, then you kind of work with humans, men and women and children. But if you're a vet, it's all bets are off, man. It's like 4-legged ones, 2-legged ones, fish, whatever.
Yeah, you have to know the biology of all these different species.
So it's hard. That way, it's hard. Plus, the veterinary technicians in the practice, they've got to, and then there's serpents, and then there's all different kind of things. So you finally ended up with this vet. And you've got how many chickens again?
9.
9 chickens. And do they lay eggs?
They don't. They're getting older. And a few of them have issues, reproductive issues, which are how hens usually pass away. Because you think they're making an egg every other day wrapped in a shell, sometimes every day. And so things fail as they get older. And since they're pets, we want to keep them around comfortably. So there is an implant that it's off-label, but it shuts down the system. We have a few older hens who, if they lay, it will kill them. So in order to keep them happy, healthy, we get them an implant.
No kidding. And so can you describe, how many breeds of chickens do you have now?
How many breeds? 1, 2.
Well, what are they called?
Easter eggers, Americanas, Barnvelder, Swedish flower hen is what Betty is, and then cuckoo blue bar. There's a Buff Orpington and a MILF, I don't know how to say it the right way, the one that looks like this, so a MILF Fleur de Clé. It's like a French little bantam.
It's a French hen.
Yeah, a little tiny one, a little orange and black.
Okay, all right. And these are all hens. And how did you get your first one again?
We decided we wanted chickens for eggs.
Oh, okay.
And so we ordered through one of those hatcheries.
A catalog.
Yeah, website, yeah.
And how many did you get the first time?
Well, the thing is, we wanted 6 hens, and they sent 7 chickens. 1 didn't make it on the ride, but we were like, why is there 7? Sometimes they pop an extra one in as like a packing peanut to keep the rest warmer.
Oh, okay.
And they
so
do
they
that
want
with
the
the
box
roosters.
They want the box to be full.
Yeah, so
they throw in an extra
chicks
one.
have to be really warm
Uh-huh.
when they're newborns. But the one they threw in was a rooster. So we accidentally got a rooster. I think it happens to a lot of people. Luckily in Woodstock, we can have roosters. I think we could have them in town even.
Really?
So yes.
We can have chickens in Woodstock?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, and I believe that even in town, roosters are okay.
What
But-
about chickens?
Yeah, chickens. I mean, they're all chickens, but roosters and hens, yeah.
Are okay. So what kind of housing do they have?
They have a complex because I'm such a nerd. And, oh my goodness, they have a huge. They started with a small coop because we looked online, and this
What's
is
a
what people-
small coop?
like 6 by 6,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then like a 10 by 10 run. And after the first winter, we were like, that's kind of small. So now they have a 10 by 6 house. Looks like a Brad's barn shed or something. And their run space is doubled. So they're kind of spoiled. They have a yard that's fenced in with an aviary net on top because everything wants to eat chicken. So there are some spoiled chickens.
What does that mean?
They have a dust bath of their own. They get outside every day. They get all the treats they want.
Okay,
They have
so
heaters.
they get out of their coop
Mm-hmm.
and out of their run,
Yes.
and they run loose in the yard.
No, they have a fenced-in yard.
They have a fenced-in yard.
Yeah, so predators can't easily get in, and with an aviary net over top, so hawks can't get
Right.
through them.
So
The only thing that
raptors-
ever made it through was a bear, but that rarely ever happens.
You came out and there was a bear in your chickens.
Yes, there was a bear.
What did you do?
Well, I didn't see him at first. I just heard a little noise, so I ran out, and I saw Edith. She was in the run by herself, and there were feathers everywhere. And I ran in, and this bear squeezed out of the little tiny door from the coop into the run with me. And yeah.
And how many chickens did the bear get?
He had Edith in his mouth. And
so
I think
did Edith survive?
Yes, we ran
Did
to
she
the
have
vet.
to go to the vet?
Yep, Dr. Gunsberg, he performed surgery, and she had 3 puncture wounds in her back.
Ooh.
Luckily, not deep. He was like picking her up.
Oh,
And she's fine. She spent a couple months inside with me, and now
she lives in the
runs.
house.
No, she doesn't. She hated it going back out there, but she did go back out. But now she runs to me to be picked up.
Oh, that's
So,
great.
No, I'm a human, so it's who'd have thought,
Well, the thing is that one of the things that I do is animal communication, and fowl communicate very well.
You have to really know what you're looking for, but they do. You should come over and communicate with my chickens.
I bet you communicate with your chickens.
Oh yeah, they get an earful. Whenever I was an actor for so many years, and I'll go back to it. But I was on Broadway, I toured, and I still sing. And sometimes when I'm warming up, the rooster just starts in at the same time. Yeah.
And he joined you.
Yep, my little boy.
Oh my God. Well,
It's like I'm
listen,
on your show and I'm that crazy chicken guy already.
so how did we go from, did you have chickens first or soap first?
Chickens first in
You had
2017.
chickens in 2017.
Yes.
So then how did you decide that you had all these chickens and you still had time in your life to do something else?
Well, it was the pandemic, so everyone was at home and theater had shut down. We finally, after years, got the revival of The Unsinkable Molly Brown back to New York after out-of-town tryouts. And we opened off Broadway, and a month later, the world shut down.
And that
it
was
closed
it.
us, yeah.
And that was
And
it.
then theater didn't come back until, past midway 2021, and that was really iffy anyway because of cases of COVID, which closed shows as soon as they opened.
Oh, yeah, it was tough. But it's back though now, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, I have not been to the city. Actually, I was going to the city every week because I was going to Gotham, and I rode the bus in every week. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't going to Gotham, and I just haven't gone. My habits changed. So here you are. You're up here in Woodstock, in town with chickens. I am so motivated.
To talk to my chickens.
I'm motivated to have some of my own. My husband's going to have a conniption fit. Poor thing, poor thing. Well, now tell me, so you started doing soap. And what kind of equipment do you need the first time you're going to do soap?
You need bowls to mix them in that can handle the heat, because this is a chemical reaction. All this is science, is a chemical reaction, and it's very exothermic. Is that the right term? I get endothermic and exothermic mixed up. It makes its own heat, whichever one that is.
Really?
Yeah, because it is a combination between lye, water, and fat.
So you actually do make, these are lye soaps?
Yes, all soaps are lye. If they're not, then they're detergents and they're synthetic.
Okay, so now if you are a manufacturer of soap, now you said you don't do goat's milk soap.
No.
Would that be a lye soap?
Yes. I do coconut milk instead. So it's
Okay,
kind of similar. All these over there, except the salt ones, are coconut milk.
all of these are coconut milk.
Yeah.
Now, why would a person request coconut milk? Why would they go looking for coconut
Well,
milk?
usually they look for goat milk, but I don't use animal products. So it's similar because the lather is going to be thicker and more nourishing and creamier.
No kidding. So it's a more fun soap.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the ones that people are getting to bathe with.
Well, oh no, everybody bathes with all of them. You can bathe with all of them.
And now these are the shampoo ones.
Yes.
These are the shampoo ones.
Those also have coconut milk in them. And
Okay.
jojoba oil and
So
cocoa butter.
essentially, these are all the same product, but they are different based upon the colors and the aromas.
Colors, aromas, the recipes are a little bit different. Some of these have sweet almond oil in them that I'm phasing out because people have allergies. Some of them, what was I going to say? Some of them have shea butter. Some of them have local beer to boost the lather.
Really?
Yeah, so it's everything you put into a soap recipe changes the quality of the soap. Like every oil gives it something. Like coconut oil will make it more creamy, the lather creamy, and it will cleanse better. But it would be drying if you didn't balance it with the olive oil, which is more nourishing.
So these soaps all have olive oil.
Yes, they have olive oil and coconut oil. Some of them have shea butter. Some of them have sweet almond oil. These have jojoba and cocoa butter. They all have sustainable palm. Some of them don't. A couple of them over there
Now,
don't.
the shea butter's going out.
The shea butter's coming in. The
shea
almond
butter-
oil's going
The
out.
almond oil is leaving.
Yes.
So, how many soaps do you have made with almond oil?
On here, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Are okay. Now, just because how could you choose? You know, do any of these ever go on sale,
Like,
or do you just make them and then when they're gone, they're gone?
they're gone, they're gone. And then if I see something selling well, I'll make more.
You'll
and
make more.
That's
Okay.
something I'm still not great at judging how long it's going to take something to sell out, because these have to cure for at least 4 weeks after they're made before they're sold.
So if you're out of orange, I can't call you up and say I'd like to have one on Monday.
Right.
That won't happen.
That won't happen.
Very interesting. Now, also, these soaps are packed.
Yes, I did a lot of research, and of course it's Woodstock, so I went with a company that makes biodegradable shrink wrap.
Wow.
It's not compostable, but it degrades in 2 to 4 years instead of, 2,000? So that's a
Right.
big difference. And it was important because it is Woodstock to be as green as possible.
Now, so when a person chooses this bar or this bar, it's basically which one do they appeals to them?
Yeah, I think the scent is what draws people, unless they really like the design, like there's a pride flag or a trans flag, or the
Okay,
Christmas
now
ones.
this is the pride flag,
Mhm.
and
Rainbow.
this is the trans flag?
It is.
And what is this one?
That's the bear flag.
That is a bear flag.
And I tell you, some people at the flea market, they're like, "Ooh, it smells great. I'm gonna buy it." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, that's too cute. Okay, so people just the thing about soaps. I think you're the only one at the flea market selling soaps. Is
Yes,
that true?
I think the other one that was there for like 30 years moved on to a bigger market. Yeah,
Well, the goat's milk one, they had soaps.
yeah. They
But
moved
they
up to
also
Troy.
had other things. I mean, that was just
Right.
where this is exclusively what you're doing.
Yes,
And so
and they'll be there on Sunday at the Pickle Fest, and people love them.
they will be there at the Pickle Fest. Oh, well, that's wonderful. All right. Well, so how does one choose a soap?
To purchase?
Yeah.
Or, well, I mean, what would you look for? Would you look for
I don't
something
know.
that smells nice,
Do you just pick them up and hold them until you find one that you like?
that resonates the right energy? No.
Yeah.
And I think that usually people go by smell, or they know, oh, they have coconut milk. I might like that, or these have salt, sea salt in them, which can be a little exfoliating and
Do
good for
people
your skin.
ask what they're made out of?
Sometimes, yes. And of course, all the ingredients are on the back there. Or the Christmas ones, they're fun.
What are the Christmas ones?
Or the holiday ones. There's one with a snowflake in it. I have to get you out of there.
Oh, how cute!
Yeah. So that's soap dough that I make, and then I extrude. There's one with the Christmas tree in them.
Oh my gosh!
And of course, there's pumpkin spice, because everybody loves pumpkin
Right.
spice with little pumpkins on top. And sweater weather. And then, peppermint. And that's actually peppermint essential oil.
Now this one would really appeal to me because I'm peppermint everything because
Oh, yeah?
I have cats, and I have learned that fleas do not like peppermint.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I can tell my
so
sister that. She's having to struggle with fleas right now with the cats.
my whole yard is. There's nothing aesthetic about it at all. It's all peppermint. I have 12 different kinds of peppermint. There's peppermint in everything. So this is the one. This is the one. Okay. The thing that is so attractive about soaps, for me, that is so attractive, is I don't want anything in a plastic jar if I can help it. No plastic. So you buy a bar of soap and you're not going to get a plastic bottle.
Right.
That, to me, that's important.
And with shampoo, especially now
Oh,
that
this
those,
is-
what do you do with those shampoo bottles? You throw them away?
Oh,
or
right,
I think
right.
They
And-
probably can be recycled.
I have now been shampooing my hair with the soaps that are outside of the plastic, and it's wonderful. But for me, soap has an extra pull. And the reason it does is because you can always use it as a gift. I love to give people soaps. Because
Well,
they
you need to
smell
come over
good.
to my.
Yes, yes. You know? And I think I did last week. I think I bought a couple. I just was at your booth, and I was a little bit overcome by all the variety.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. It is a lot of them now. And of course, some will go away after the holidays. And then the ones that will sell will stay. I had 2 tie-dye ones, but the other scent wasn't selling, so that one, meh.
Went, yeah.
Yeah.
So you keep records of all of these so you can figure out which ones you're going to carry on.
Yes.
Very interesting. All right. And you can smell them. They're luscious.
I think everybody can smell me across the field at the
That's
flea
okay.
market.
That's okay. That's all right.
If they're downwind of me, they get to smell the soaps.
So these soaps, do they ever come in gift wrappings, or do you just select them and then take them home and gift wrap them yourself?
I think you gift wrap them yourself. I'm not
Okay.
the best person to wrap presents
Okay.
like that.
So we just get the soap.
You just get the soap. Yeah, and I do ship.
Oh, you do ship?
Yeah, I think I have a local pickup selected on my Shopify now too. If I don't, I will. Now, some of these also are just essential oils, and some of these are fragrance oils. So that's also.
What is the difference?
Essential oils are more natural. They are derived from the plants, come from, and the fragrance oils are partially synthetic based, usually based on the essential oils. And fragrance oils, they're skin safe. They're
How can
cheaper.
you tell which ones are essential oils and which ones are fragrance?
If me, I know because I make them, but if you're looking at them and you look at the ingredients, lavender and orange essential oil.
Okay,
That says
so
the others
if
say
they're
fragrance.
essential oils, it says.
Yeah, so that says fragrance.
Okay, all right. So in your booth, do you have them separated?
Not by essential oils or fragrance oils, no. Because the salt bars, one is essential and one is a fragrance. Some of the coconut ones are fragrances and some are essential. Like that one, the fisherman soap, that's interesting that it was like people used to say that fishermen would use this and it would take the smell of fish off their hands.
Oh, did
And they
it?
also said that fish like the smell of it, so they would be drawn to it, and it's anise essential oil.
So if you're working in the kitchen, this is the bar you need.
If you're making fish, yeah.
What about
cleaning
for
fish.
garlic and things like that?
I haven't tested that. But, it's anise, so a lot of people love it or hate it. It's like licorice.
All right, so, and if they're coconut, it says that. So this one is not.
Yes.
So if you want a coconut, does anybody care?
It's a little more nourishing for your skin, and the lather is more fun.
But does anybody say that? Does anybody walk up and say, I'm looking for a coconut oil soap?
Coconut milk.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, they
Okay.
see it, but they see the sign there and say, oh, coconut milk.
All right.
No, usually people ask if there's goat milk ones.
Now, what about a salt soap?
Those salt soaps have pink Himalayan sea salt in them, how I make them. And they are a little exfoliating, but they also, because of the high concentration of coconut oil, it's a very creamy lather.
Wow.
Yeah, as you can tell, I get into the design of them too. I have fun.
Well,
These look like marble.
well, and this one, look at this one. I was really taken with this one. So, let me ask you something. This soap that you've got right here,
Mm-hmm.
this is called the fisherman's soap, and it has this elegant colors to it, the
Yeah, the swirls.
striations. Now, will this fisherman's soap always look like this, or is this just this batch?
They will look similar because they're handmade soaps. Everything's going to be a little different per batch.
So you do have recipes then?
Oh yes.
So
I have
you
several
have
recipes.
the fisherman's soap recipe calls for?
Calls for, pardon me, certain oils, certain essential oil in that. That has coconut milk, but also 2 different colorants, and these are natural colorants. That is titanium dioxide and activated charcoal. And I make that by making a lot of white stuff, a lot of white soap with the titanium dioxide, and then dropping in the black and swirling it with like a hanger tool.
Uh-huh.
No.
Well,
There's
now,
a few different techniques on this table with the different swirls.
now is this one have a lot of texture to it?
That one, no. No, that's just an ordinary soap with a snowflake in it.
Did you bring any textured soaps with you tonight? Not that it makes any difference at all.
The sea salt ones have some texture to them.
Okay, because I think when I went by your booth the first time, I bought some soap that was textured.
Okay, it would have been the salt,
Is that what I got?
probably.
Okay, because I think that's lovely.
Oh, there's also, I don't have it here for some reason, a light pumice soap.
Okay, I remember that word. Okay, so I bought a pumice soap. What,
Is it blue?
I think so,
Okay.
a strong color.
Yeah.
One of the soaps was strong color. Now, will you please tell me how that pumice soap differs from the others?
Well, the pumice soap has pumice powder in it, and pumice powder is made from, I believe, ground volcanic rock. So that'll be a grit, a light grit. A lot of people use that for the winter or for feet, stuff like that.
Could you ever, you said pumice, could you ever like buy an herb that's got some texture to it and put that in it?
Yes, some people do that, especially with oats,
Oh, okay.
like ground oats. And
Oatmeal soap.
yeah, those have colloidal oats. The ones with the coconut milk have colloidal oats, but it's not textured
Okay.
because that's a finely ground. But people do that, yeah.
So these are rather complex.
It's like a mad scientist. It reminds me when I was a little boy, I had like a chemistry set, and honestly, I was a biology major before I was a theater major. So it's fun to do chemistry.
Okay.
These
all right.
chemical reactions.
So what happened was you grew up and you got into theater, and then for some reason an opportunity presented itself for you to go back to the chemistry set.
Yeah. I think that's why I like it. And it's creative. It's a creative outlet for now until I go back on stage.
How much space does this take in your home?
It takes half of my basement. So that's like 20 by 10 with all the molds sitting there, with like the containers of oils I have to use, the colorants, the fragrances, and then I have, those baker's racks with pans on them. I have a few of those, and like lined with soap so they cure. So, and then
And
a table where I wrap them.
So these, when they are prepared, you make enough to fill a pan.
Yes, depending on the mold. Like that one, I made some handmade molds for those with wood, so I could make them the same shape as these, but I have to make those sideways, just the way the salt ones are.
You had to make them sideways.
Yeah, because the salt sets up a lot faster, and if you don't cut it after like 5 hours, if you cut it after 5 hours, it's too hard to cut.
Really?
So I can't make
So then you
30
have
at a
this
time.
great big bar of soap, That you can't cut?
Yeah, it would break all apart. But these are like a huge rectangle, and I have a cutter that splits it into logs and then cuts it into bars. But I can't do that with that, because when I cut that, it's still hot from the chemical reaction. So I have a lot of PPE in the house.
What is the chemical reaction that creates the heat?
Saponification.
Saponification.
Saponification. So you think sapo is is it Greek or is it Latin? I don't know the word for soap. So anything that goes through saponification is soap, and that is the chemical reaction between lye, or caustic soda is what they call it, water and fat. And the fat in this case are all the coconut oil, olive oil, castor oil, and it all goes together. And I mix it, and it becomes soap. And afterwards, there's no lye left in these. All of it's used up in the chemical reaction.
Now, this is a poured soap,
Yes,
as opposed to this one.
they're all poured. It's just these went into molds like peace signs.
So,
Individual
how many?
silicone molds.
Is this like a muffin tin? You have a peace sign soap mold? Is
Yep.
that what it is?
Uh-huh.
How many do you make at a time?
On those, I have several molds next to each other, and I think I get 15 at a time out of each batch. Yeah.
Okay.
Something I also decided to do here, because we're a little rural in Woodstock and everybody has wells. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people has wells. I introduced a chelating agent to it, so these make less soap scum
Really?
than homemade soaps without it. Yeah,
Now, which ones are these soaps?
they all have that. It's across the board now. It is sodium citrate, and soap scum is made by like well water and
Yeah.
like calcium reacting with these fats, but the chelating agent will bond to those minerals like calcium instead of bonding with the fats. So there's less
wow.
soap scum in these.
Okay.
Yes, I
That
learned
is
that
a
right
big
away.
deal.
It
That
is
is
a big deal because
Does
if you don't
anybody
use
ask?
it, no.
Listen.
It's a lot to talk about getting into the science of soap when people are like, oh, pretty soaps, they smell good. I'm like, thanks. Let me tell you the science. No.
They're not interested. But that's when it's time to clean the bathroom. It does make a big
It
amount
does
of
make
difference.
my first ones, I made a lot of Castile soaps, which is just olive oil as the oil, and they leave a lot
Yes.
of soap scum.
There's a lot of work.
But with the chelating agent in there, the sodium citrate,
And
it
how did
really cuts down.
how did that go with you? You made your first batch and you were using them and you said, "Oh my God, look at this soap scum." Did you start going and trying to figure out how to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you just by accident realize, "Hey, this soap doesn't have as much." How did that process go with you?
I Googled it. I said, do homemade soaps, pardon me, make more soap scum? And the answer is they can. If you have minerals in your water, if you have a well. And then well, how do you stop it? And it's just an added, chemical, sodium citrate compound in there that just bonds with those minerals instead of making soap scum as much. It's really cut down. Honestly, the first time I cleaned the shower after I was making soap, I was just disgusted. I was like, well, I can never make soap again because this is where I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to go get some Irish Spring or something. But then reading that and trying it, it was a huge difference.
Okay.
So, and of course, like I said, this is a very rural area and a lot of people have wells. We have a well. And it made a difference.
I don't think we're rural anymore. I think
No,
we were.
you
maybe,
see
but
outside
not-
this weekend, it doesn't look like it.
We're not rural. That's a fantasy, man. This is different now. suburban rather than.
Yeah, we came up here 12 years ago, and it's completely different just from 12 years ago.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Well, now I have some other questions.
Okay.
First of all,
I hope I've
what
answered.
is your best seller? What is the most popular bar on this tabletop?
That one. It's between the tie-dye and the sweet fur. This one looks like a pine scent, but this one is the only one I have patchouli in. Which personally I'm not a big fan of, but I kind of combined it with lavender and orange, and it smells really good in that. And I think that is the top seller. But also this sweet fur, people love the smell.
Now, this one and this one are made, their ingredients are different, correct? Because this one was over here, which is a different type of soap.
The only difference is that has a fragrance oil and that has an essential oil, and the colorants are different.
So this is
They're
a
the same soap.
fragrance oil.
Yeah, that's a fragrance oil. These are essential oils.
Okay. And so what people like about these is the color? Is that what they like about them?
Sometimes they pick them for their bathroom based on what it looks like. Pardon me. And sometimes it's just the smell.
Well, now, if you have this soap, do people buy these soaps for their own personal use, or do they buy them for gifts?
Both.
What is
Both.
what is the most popular use? Are they more for gifts, or are they more for personal use?
Oh, I think it might be half and half. I don't know.
Really?
Some lady came and she liked the orange so much that she came back a couple weeks later and came and just bought all of them that I had out.
Really?
Just for herself. And I was like, okay. Some lady came with this tie-dye and said, do you have more of that stuff I bought? I was like, what, the tie-dye one? I was like, yes. I got it for my husband, and he showered with it, and all the women at work said how wonderful he smells. So she bought him like 3 more, I guess.
Okay.
So it's you know, some people buy them for other people, some people buy them for themselves. Now we're approaching the holidays, so I'm assuming it's going to be gifts.
This is not your first Christmas, is it, to do this?
No, I did it last year.
Okay. So
Online.
how did that work last year? What were the most popular products last year?
Last Christmas, I sold out of the sea salt bars and the pride flag.
Really?
Yeah. Like I was struggling to restock them. I had them in a couple places in town, and I actually went and pulled them out so I could ship them.
Well, yeah, because you had customers that wanted it, and the people, if the people in the store weren't selling them, they obviously didn't know. So you actually got these soaps. You can buy them at the stores in Woodstock.
You can buy them at the Woodstock Emporium
The Woodstock Emporium
and Holiday House.
and Holiday House.
Yeah, Woodstock Emporium and Holiday House. It's right in the middle of the street there.
That is the one next to the bookstore.
Not right next to the bookstore, but yes, it's up from the bookstore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
okay.
next to the place that sells the chimes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Mark.
That was interesting. Has he been there the whole time, or is Mark a new owner now?
Oh, Mark's been there a very long time.
He's one of the older ones?
Yeah, I think he used to have a store in a different location, and he moved that over there.
Okay.
He's been here a while.
Now this one, look at this one. This is called Vanilla Sugar?
Yes, that is a dupe. They make dupes of famous fragrances sometimes, and that's a dupe of a Bath and Body Works fragrance, actually, that my sister liked, so I made it. And the interesting thing about that is it's brown, but I didn't color it. A chemical reaction, again, with vanilla makes soap brown. And you don't have any control over it, so I just tried to design with it.
This is a really beautiful color.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
it's-
that's a nice color. So if somebody wants to get some of these for Christmas and Valentine's or whatever, how do they find your website?
It is peacelovelather.com. It's that simple.
One word, peacelovelather.com.
peacelovelather.com.
How did you
Yes.
come up with a name like that?
Oh, it's Woodstock. And it kind of rolled off the tongue. You know, you pass the school and it's peace, love, learning. Everything is peace, love,
okay.
everything. You're,
Okay, all right, that's okay. That's how
It's,
it works. Now, let me
and I even
ask.
put a chicken in my QR code.
Oh, how
Because
adorable!
when I nerd out, I go full nerd.
Oh, I think that's adorable. Oh, it's too bad you can't have more chickens on your bars of soap.
I could. I just have to choose which chicken gets her feathers immortalized.
Oh.
Like this was my Sweetums. She was my favorite. My buddy. Let's see.
Oh, how sweet.
And that design goes all the way through.
What's going to happen if you get down to 1 or 2 chickens and somebody calls you up and says, we need a place for them?
We need a place like with more rescues. Oh, I'll recommend friends who also rescue.
Oh, you're in a crowd now.
Yeah. I'm friends with some rescues, yes. I used to volunteer with the SPCA in Kingston, but also I know the people at the Institute for Animal Happiness and the Woodstock Farm Sanctuary, wonderful people.
The one before the Woodstock Farm Sanctuary, the Institute for Animal Happiness.
Mhm.
Where is that one?
Well, it was in Woodstock until the beginning of this year, and now they moved to Rhinebeck. They expanded. Yeah. So they rehab and take rescues that have like broken legs and special needs.
That's wildlife rehabilitation
Yes, with chickens, with birds.
for chickens.
And with ducks. I believe they have ducks too now. Yeah, birds.
Oh, how adorable.
But they started up on the mountain here in Woodstock.
That's adorable. Well, now, which is the one that has a lot of lather? Do they all have the same amount of lather?
They should all have pretty good lather. It's just the quality of the lather. That's thicker and creamier.
This one?
Yes, because it. Oh no, not that one. Sorry, the coconut milk ones. Because of the coconut milk, this will be creamy because of the high concentration of coconut oil. Some of these do have local beer in them, which will make more lather, but it won't be as creamy. There'll be bigger bubbles.
Well, which ones are beer soaps?
Beer soaps? That one has beer in it, and it's a small amount of beer. It's not like half of it is beer. I think that has beer. That one. It's part of my recipe I'm going to put with everything.
The beer line.
Yeah, the beer line, and it's just for the sugar in the beer, which will boost the lather.
Okay. Now, what about the labels?
I do those myself. I design them. I print them out, and I cut them with a very large paper cutter, like guillotine.
and wrap them around the soap.
Yep. Yeah, it's a little time consuming, but it's put on an audio book. And
Let me ask you something. How many bars of soap did you make for the pickle thing? For the pickle festival?
I think I have about 278 pickles.
No. For the
Oh,
whole
for
event,
this whole thing.
how many bars of soap did you make?
Oh, I think I made them for the flea market and this thing coming up, but there are a few thousand bars of soap in my house.
And how many days is the festival gonna go?
It's
You
just
said
one.
it's in New Paltz?
Mm-hmm. It's usually Rosendale, but it's moved because it got bigger, so it's in New Paltz Sunday, the 20th.
This coming Sunday?
Yep.
And
And they said, bring something pickle themed. And when I applied, Jen from Jenzanique told me to apply. And I was like, pickle. Okay, let's see if I can find some pickle molds. And I did. And Little pickles.
Are these pickle soap molds or are these pickle molds that you've adapted?
These are pickle silicone molds for whatever you want to use them for. I guess you could put chocolate in them and make chocolate pickles, but that wouldn't look good. Yeah, they're just silicone molds.
Okay. Well, now where is this festival going to be?
It is at the Ulster Fairgrounds. I've never been there. It is not too far from the exit, it looks like.
It's big.
Is it big?
Mm-hmm. It's big.
That's why I'm nervous.
So, pack them all.
I'm gonna pack them all.
You know, it's how many days is it?
Just one.
It's what? Yeah, you've only got one shot.
Just one shot.
Unless your partner stays home and can bring you some if you run out.
Nope. I'm gonna pack everything in the Subaru, and I have a friend coming up, and she's gonna help me and be there all day.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
have help behind the table, and then maybe run and get some pickle food.
The pickle festival, fried pickles.
Fried pickles,
okay.
Pickle ice cream.
Do you have any other festivals coming along?
I'll do the craft fair at the elementary school the week after. That's November 2nd, I believe.
Now, do you have holiday things for that fair?
Yes, these holiday soaps. These guys, like the pumpkin spice, the one with the Christmas tree, the peppermint. There's one more. Oh, the one with the snowflake in it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then what else have you got coming up?
There is. Well, I found out this week if I've been accepted into the Kingston Farmers Market winter market. They haven't made calls yet, so that would be every other Saturday in winter, inside.
Yeah.
Is it the Old Dutch Church? Is that
Yeah.
what I'm hearing? Yeah. So we'll see if I'm approved. I imagine they have other soap sellers who are also trying to get in.
How did you find these festivals?
Recommendations from different people. Well, the elementary school, I passed the sign. But Jen from Jen's Neat, the jewelry lady at the flea market, she told me about the pickle festival. She also said there's a UFO festival and a Bigfoot Sasquatch festival, but I missed them. And the woman from the Institute for Animal Happiness has a booth at the farmers market in the summer, so she suggested it. So yeah, it's suggestions. Getting out there, different vendors say, "Are you going to do this festival? You should do this festival." And it's like a whole community. I'm sure you know.
Actually, I don't. That's why I'm asking, because I have never really done anything besides the flea market. I just have not. Now, Suzanne, who has been she's been at this table several times, she knows a lot of the different festivals. And one year she gave me a list, and I couldn't get into any of them. I do know that the firehouses here in Woodstock are having festivals a lot.
That closed
Yeah.
They were full way before their cutoff date.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember Gary from the flea
Yeah.
market, he was going to go back, and they offered people who'd been there before, but then they
Yeah.
closed it right away.
Yeah, they took
Because I wanted
that.
to do that, because it's right at the bottom of the road I live on.
Yeah.
It'd be a very easy commute to roll down the hill.
I do know that the Coxsackie YMCA is having a festival in November.
Okay.
And also the Saugerties Animal Shelter. But if you
okay.
get to know the Saugerties Animal Shelter, they have chickens from time to time as well.
I would very gladly go and volunteer to help take care of them.
Because they have bunny rabbits and all kinds of things, but they do have chickens as well. This is amazing. We should have asked you to bring a chicken with you when you came.
Well, they're in bed now, but yeah, I could have.
That's
Not my rooster. He would be a little complicated.
Would he really?
Sometimes, yeah. Actually, no, not this time of the night. He would be fine.
He would do fine.
Yeah.
Now, I need to get back to the soaps before we end. So if a person, let's go over this one more time in case somebody missed it, because we don't really have commercials. If a person is interested in soaps, you will deliver the soaps?
I will ship the soaps.
Okay.
And I think I do have a local pickup option for this area, so you don't have to pay shipping.
Right.
I'll just probably meet you somewhere like at the firehouse or something like that, somewhere with a parking lot, so there's no issue of parking anywhere.
Yes.
But that would save shipping.
Okay. And so they can contact you at?
peacelovelather.com.
Okay. So that's where they have. Now, did you bring, I think I asked you, but I forgot if you told me or not, the one that has the most grit in it?
The pumice one, no, I did not. For
You
some
did
reason,
not.
I did not.
You did not.
No, but that is on the website also.
And
It's a similar color to the one you're holding.
right,
It's a little
because
darker.
that was one that I bought, and it was kind of like this. Well, you know, this is really, really nice, because if you like to give soaps, because I not only like to give them, I like to use them, but you know, it's like,
I'm glad you use soap. I'm sitting right next to you.
yeah, but you know, really, because, oh, we're down to 4 minutes. Oh, Ellen, we've run out of time. Ellen, I thank you so much. This has been such fun tonight. This has been the greatest show ever.
Soap, chickens, a lot of things.
A lot of things. This is Woodstock all the way, isn't
This
it?
is, I guess, yes.
Yes. Thank you very much, Ellen.
Oh, thank you.
We just think you're fabulous. Because you know, if we didn't have Ellen, we wouldn't have a show.
Oh, there you go.
No,
She
no,
makes
no.
the world move.
No, no. There was a time when I wanted to learn how to do the machines.
Yeah,
I flailed.
the nerd in me is like, ooh, I wonder if I could try that. But
No,
I think there's
no.
probably too many
I was not
switches
talented.
and plugs.
No, I couldn't do it. So thank you very much, honey.
Thank you, sweet. Then say good night.
Good night. Good night, Ellen. Good night, everybody.